I'm addicted with noise, and I'm pretty sure you are too. If you don't know what I'm talking about the action of going to the kitchen in order to cook something, but you have to find a YouTube video before cooking. I'm talking about the action of going to the bathroom and having to have your phone with you, or you'll struggle to do your necessities. I'm talking about going to sleep, but you have to watch a couple YouTube videos or watch a show so that you can fall asleep. It's the feeling of you can't just be quiet. You can't have a moment of just peace and be left alone with thoughts. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then this video is not going to be for you. But if you understand and you relate to what I'm saying, then stick around, because I feel that phone addiction is being talked about a lot. And we're talking about how much we need our phones, how much we are always on our phones, but we don't talk about how the noise is actually bothering us. And it's not just the phone itself. We're talking about TV. I have to find a YouTube video on my TV in order to do something around the house. I have to put a music on in order to brush my teeth. It's these noises that get our minds so overworked that we forget what we're doing in the first place. And noise doesn't have to be just auditory. We're not talking about the noise that we hear. There are visual noise, and I'm not talking about grain as in photography terms. I'm talking about actual noise that we see. This type of noise I noticed when I go check something on YouTube. Let's say someone tells me, hey, go check that song that you have to practice for church, or go check this video on a tutorial on how to edit this part of the video. And then I go check, and then I open my YouTube recommendation. There's 4,000 amazing videos ready to be tucked away on my watch later playlist that maybe I won't watch at all. So there's noise that can be visual, and that's the type of noise that I'm talking about. We are constantly distracted. I did read a little bit of Deep Work by Carl Newport, and at the time I was working plumbing, and plumbing is not the type of work that you would say that requires deep work, because when Carl Newport talks about deep work, he's talking about just getting rid of email, just turning off email for the most part of the day, putting your phone on silent. And he talks about stories of people that went away, maybe off the grid, maybe into little castles and places that are so off the grid that people can't even reach them, and they focused, sat down, and worked on their work. And that's written work and things like that. So plumbing didn't require that. And I was working in this company that requires you to be constantly on your phone. You have to tell them, hey, arrived. Hey, I need materials. Hey, it's gonna take this much time. So I was constantly on my phone. So you know what it's like to open your phone and then you click on it and you think that you're gonna do what you have to do, and you get distracted because of the visual noise. So phones are amazing. These are amazing tools that we have. These are amazing tools that we generally need at the time that we are. There's GPS, there's phones, there's messages, there's emergency features, things that without it we would revert into the medieval ages, in my opinion. But doesn't mean that the phone is a benefit all the time. I believe generally right now the noise that the phone causes in our lives is louder than the benefits that it actually brings. And as a creative, as a person that works as a marketing producer, I create content for a living. Not this type of content for a living yet. I hope one day to make, but I create for companies that need advertisement, documentation of their projects. I take photos. So as a creative that needs to come up with ideas and creative ways to portray ideas and tell stories, this destroys me constantly. This takes away from my creativity because I'm addicted to it. I can't even take a dump in the threat of sounding gross without checking my Instagram. I can't be on a car ride without putting a YouTube video on the side to be played. You know, not even music. We're not even talking about music. I'm not enjoying music. I have to watch a YouTube video. And I do drive a lot. I drive 40 minutes, 30 minutes, which for some people that's nothing. But for me, it's starting to get to me. In my mind, it's getting bored of those 30, 40-minute rides. So I'm to the point that I watch movies. I watch YouTube videos. I watch Netflix TV shows on it while driving. Not only dangerous, but and illegal, completely detrimental to my mental health. And that's what I want to talk about. How horrible this noise is to our lives. How it's destroying me slowly and how I plan to stop it. If you're watching this and you're probably like, dang, I'm also in that same boat, man, or woman, I'm happy that I'm not the only one. But it's unfortunate to hear that a lot of people are being affected by this thing. So this is the type of stuff that it has to be taken care of right now. And I do have some ideas to remediate that. A couple ones is reading. I think reading is a great way to distract ourselves without being too noisy, right? To let our minds wander. We need our minds to wander. And then there are some steps to addiction that I want to take. I don't want to go full cold turkey on addiction. That's not how you mostly do things. I know it works for some people, but for addiction, it's talking about lowering the use of the substance until the body gets used to not needing all the time. And when it comes to going in my car and driving, I rather listen to music. I have to listen to music, not watch YouTube videos. When I get home and I'm working and I'm deep work, what I've been doing and it's been helping is put my phone in the other room. If my fiance has to contact me as an emergency, I have my MacBook that can receive messages and calls. If you don't have it, there could be other ways that you could do this, but this way has been helping me if I put my phone away. And then I can focus on my computer and edit the things that I have to edit and come up with the ideas that I have to come up with. And instead of putting notes on my phone, what I've been doing is actually writing on the board. I have divided my board to work, life, and extra. And right now we're actually working on the extra, which is film simple video for the new channel. So it's very exciting, the journey. But it is also a cry for help when you finally understand what the problem is, what the addiction is, and what steps you have to take. Now, it's easier said than done. All these steps I've already tried to implement. They're not the easiest because keeping my phone, for example, right now, I should have my phone all the way in the kitchen, but I have it with me right here. That is a problem. I'm not taking my steps seriously. So it's all about discipline and figuring out, finding that mental state in which you are willing to change things, right? I am reading a book called, I'll just put it right here on the screen, but I'll just grab it. Okay, grab the book. It's called Disrupt Everything and Win by James Patterson and Patrick Ledden. Basically, it talks about how disruption is a good thing. It's not talking about noise. We're not talking about noise here, we're talking about disruption. Disruption is everything that, disrupts your daily life. That could be a good thing, you get a raise, or you find a nice, cool thing, or a bad thing. For example, you lose a friend, you get into a fight, you lose your job, someone dies. There's, depths into this. But when it comes to disruptions, there are a couple of personality traits and roles that I'm learning this book. And again, I'm not a big fan of self-help books at the moment. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of gym bros and tech bros are all about like, oh my gosh, productivity. And it kind of stained these books in my mind. But again, I'm not trying to be an absolute person. We are subject to change constantly. So I opened this book and I read, it was actually gifted by Achla, the owner of the company that I subcontract for when it comes to marketing. And it's very interesting because I'm learning that there's disruptions that we have to do in our lives. And a big disruption that I have to do constantly now is to stop the phone usage. When everyone is saying, go to Instagram, stay there a bunch of times, watch a bunch of reels, go to YouTube, and they're creating content for your eyes to be there, and all these platforms are dragging you in, we have to disrupt this pattern and say, no, I want something more in my life. And that's what I want to work on at the moment. And not giving full praise to the book because I have been thinking this way, but the book also helps you understand that there's disruptions for our work life, our personal life, and this one is for my everything life. And especially, and big one is my spiritual life. I don't know if you are a spiritual person. I don't know if you're a Christian, Muslim. It does not matter. I am a Christian. I like to talk about my faith, so I'm going to be very open about it. I've been struggling to read my Bible, been struggling to keep on my devotion. And as a Christian, if I'm not eating and if I'm not feeding my soul, I am prone to diseases, which is the word that I call temptations, right? And which causes us to sin. If you miss a meal, if you miss a day, if you don't eat for a day, you start getting weak. And on day 2 without eating, you're prone to getting sick. Your immune system lowers. It's the same thing when it comes to Bible and prayer. If we neglect those things, we're prone to falling into the enemy's hands, into our own heart, which is deceitful. And my phone has been the biggest stumbling block in my spiritual life. It's been introducing things that do not help my life and take me away from God. It's been taking my time that I should be giving to God. And you guys know the noise is not a good noise. This noise is not like a guitar, it's not like a symphony that brings peace or creates curiosity. It fulfills this part of your brain that shouldn't be full. We are not meant to be full. We are people that have to be constantly working towards learning and creating. We're creative people. God made us in His image, and God is a creative being. I mean, just look at giraffes. Who had the idea of making a giraffe just long necks, full dotted, and eats leaves from trees? So this is the type of stuff that I'm saying. Even if you believe it, you don't believe, we are creative beings, and you can't say that we're not. That is just a fundamental truth about humanity since the beginning and the dawn of time. And all these creative media, that being video games, songs, movies, TV shows, books, they are becoming such abundantly available in our lives that is taking away our focus. Noise. We're talking about noise. Constant noise. No moment of chill. No moment of laying on the couch with no TV and just like meditating. No time of sitting outside, hearing the birds chirping, and then boom, video idea for YouTube. Or boom, I have an idea on how to make my work better. Or boom, I figure out the perfect date that I can take my significant other on. Or boom, I figure out a way to save my marriage, or to save my relationship, or to become more. It doesn't have to be productive. Or, man, what if I did this? And that leads into opening a new part of life. Life is meant to be enjoyed. As a Christian, I do believe that my life is fully devoted to Christ and God and the Holy Spirit, which are 3 in 1, right? My whole life is devoted to Him, to God. Everything that I do has to glorify Him. I have to run away from sin and prevent myself from sinning, and I have to preach the gospel. But I can also enjoy life without preaching the gospel directly. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. There's things in life that doesn't mean productivity. It doesn't mean getting more money. It doesn't mean getting a better job. It doesn't mean getting a better house or a better apartment. Or even just that. Some things are meant to be just enjoyed. Pickleball. Where are you going to make more money by playing pickleball? Or cycling. Where are you going to make more money by cycling? Or learn a new hobby, learn a new language. You know, that one does make sense about making money. But things don't have to be all about productivity. There's a crucial element of our lives that is called enjoyment, and we have to enjoy ourselves. The Lord is happy and wants us to enjoy ourselves in His presence, right? And again, if you're not a believer, you have to enjoy yourself, you know? So that's what I'm trying to say. All this noise is taking away our enjoyment. We cannot enjoy ourselves anymore in this way. We are being parts of these big corporate and all these big companies. They are creating noise, so it draws our attention because our heart is deceitful and our mind sucks. So we are so susceptible into falling to their traps instead of falling into enjoyment of our lives. So this is my call to you, and a call to me too. Let's stop the noise for now. Let's take a break from the noise. Let's keep our phones further away from us. Even though I do work with my phone and I need it for work, there are ways. That's not an excuse for me to be on it. There are ways for us to keep it away, to make technology work for us and not us for technology. Embrace silence now. Embrace a moment of peace. Embrace a moment of discernment. Just discern what are you doing right now without asking ChatGPT, without watching a YouTube video. This one is cool because you're watching this and I'm telling you to think for yourself. So again, I'm not begging you or trying to put an idea in your head. I'm just sharing what is happening in my life and how it can benefit you too. And what my struggles are, and being transparent so that you, as another human being watching this, can apply it to your life and we can share our experiences. That's why there's a comment section down below. That's why there's a like button to hear your opinion. That's why there's a dislike button if you don't like this at all. That's why there's a subscribe button to follow me if you like this type of content and you agree with my ideals. It doesn't have to be religious ideals or work ethic ideals, but if you just like intellectual videos about thinking and talking, man, just click on this video. Just subscribe. No, click on this video, just subscribe. So embrace the silence, say no to the noise, and let's all go into this journey together, just bettering ourselves in a way that we can finally gain our joy back and not be burned down by all this type of media and content that is stealing our attention. So thank you so much for watching. This is a new channel that I made. It's different from my other channel. I do have a channel called Brandon Loves Cameras. I do content about cameras and the marketing and stuff that I like to do for work. Not that I like to do, that I actually do for work. And this one is more what I like to talk about. I love having intellectual talks. I love talking about not just bettering ourselves, but just life in general. So if you enjoy this type of stuff, consider giving a like, a subscribe, so that you can get more stuff like this. Thanks so much, guys, and God bless you all.